Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Hey everyone, so happy you can join us for the Love Everyone podcast
with your hosts Govind Das and Rama Chandra Das.
A conversation of love, devotion, and walking the path of Bhakti Yoga.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Love Everyone podcast. My name is Rama Chandra Das and I'm your host along with my brother.
Hey everybody, my name is Govind Das and it's so wonderful to be together. Oh my gosh, episode 30.
Woo, episode
Wow,
30.
cool
These are real numbers.
These are real numbers. We're going to get to 108, man.
Oh,
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, well, and hopefully by the time we get to 108, everyone's going to start listening.
Everyone's going to be listening. Everyone.
That's it, man. That's it. Love Everyone podcast is going to make love cool again.
Everyone is going to start listening. Everyone.
Okay, all right. Those with the capability. All right, everyone that has a computer or a smartphone that can listen to this.
Everybody's going to be listening. How cool will that be? Everybody's going to be into Love Everyone. We're making love cool again.
Making love cool again. Well, I mean,
wait,
cool.
Is that making love becomes cool again or love becomes cool again?
Both.
That's great.
I gotta say, man, I can't stop thinking about that. I'm still high from that hit we took last week, that Ram Dass hit.
Oh, you're still tripping on it.
Dude, I'm still tripping on it, man. I have not come down. Remember, it's the one that's about just radiate love.
Just radiate love.
I mean, that's literally just been all week. That's been my practice. Now I haven't been radiating love 100% of the time. I mean, I'm a human being and everything, but the practice has been like, it's really profound because I think so much of the time we're like so focused on like this idea of loving ourselves, which is important. Absolutely. When we say like love everyone, we include ourselves in that, but it can also, I think, become almost egotistical, right?
Like
or
selfish,
or once I heal my heart, then I can radiate love, or then I can give it to other people. But right now,
I don't even know if there's a then in that equation that most people, it's just about healing your own heart.
Well, right. It can become your whole
You know
lifetime.
What I mean? That's where it ends.
Yeah.
And actually, I've been hearing a lot of Instagram posts about this, about what yoga has become. It's just this very selfish, self type of pleasure type of a thing just for yourself.
But what I've realized is that like radiating love, or like just offering love and just being loving and kind and all this kind of stuff, to others, that's the best way to heal your heart. That actually, if that's what your goal is to heal your heart, well, instead of making it focused on you, send it outward, love everyone, radiate that love, and you get caught up in the rays of this heart. That
this is great because, like, I'm gonna love myself. I love myself. Oh, I'm gonna love myself in my heart. You don't feel anything the more you do. But when you really love others, like really beam and radiate that love out, something happens. Like you feel something powerful shift inside of yourself. So I think this is great.
Yeah, and I just can't stop thinking about it. It's like a little mantra. Even if I feel myself getting irritated or like, or even any kind of self-doubt cropping up or feeling irritated externally or whatever, it's like I just kind of go into that place and not like, oh, let me try to shine the light on that, but just to kind of just to radiate love, man. And we hear it so often, like it's our true nature, right? So it's when we've chipped away those pieces. I think we even talked about that. I described that statue is a block of marble, and we chip away what we don't need, as opposed to we're not adding anything on, we're just chipping away what we don't need. Um and I think at some point, there's like a natural organic progression that's like, okay, well, wait a second, I need to learn how to love myself. Okay, that's valid. But then at some point throughout that process is that then we have to kind of, I don't know, I'm not move past, that's not the right word, but
But wait, what? If you just stop there for a sec, what does that mean? Learn how to love myself.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, I'm just bringing this up. Let's riff on it. What does that mean? I need to learn how to love myself.
well, I think that like we need to learn how to forgive ourselves, for the mistakes that we made. I think that's a big one for me, I know, and for a lot of people, like people who call themselves perfectionists or whatever, they suffer a lot when they make a mistake, and like when you really 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 love somebody, like your baby or your dog or or your spouse or something, and they make a mistake, you know often we treat them even better than ourselves. Say, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. How about then? So that's just one example, I think.
Yeah,
Um but I think that it can, if we stay too long in it, it can become just another ego trap, I
yeah.
think, is what I'm feeling. And so rather than at a certain point, we have to like let one maybe has to let that go and just try to step more into like that being that Ram Dass is talking about, just being love, just radiating that love, which is really just our natural state of being.
There's just so much in our modern social media world
Self
about
care.
loving yourself. You have to love yourself. And I agree with that. I think for me, what comes up a big part of that is, you know, looking at yourself in the mirror,
Mm.
or I should say, looking at myself in the mirror, and whether that's a real physical mirror or just a metaphorical mirror, it's just observing myself, very easily I can go into self-judgment
Mm.
and wishing I were different than I am, whether I look different or I sound different or I was smarter or I was, had bigger biceps and less of
I
a
thought you were gonna say
belly.
boobs.
Or more hair or whatever it may be, a straight nose or, whatever it is for all of us, because I think we all have those judgments about ourselves. But I think that loving yourself is really coming to accept
Mm.
just the way we are, who we are as the way we are, and and loving it,
Yeah.
loving that we are perfect,
Yeah,
just that
exactly. Loving your crooked nose.
that God made us, and this is how we're supposed to be. Now, we live in a world where people don't want to accept that, whether it's, aging things or doing anti-aging practices. There's a whole host of them, getting hair transplants or facelifts or
Botox.
Botox or boob jobs or ass jobs or whatever it is, I mean, and I'm not judging anybody for that because
Well, especially because you got a beautiful ass job. Everyone can tell.
you notice I'm
The work,
so happy
yeah,
to notice.
that work. You got to recommend that surgeon, bro, because
Well, they're starting to do that, Botox in the ass.
You know, hey, I want to cut you off before because I don't want to forget this because I've also something else I've been really meditating on a lot, and is this beautiful little mantra that Monica taught us at the
Oh, isn't it
yoga
beautiful?
fest, and you reminded me of it because you said that loving yourself is a big part of it, is accepting yourself. So her mantra I'll just share with you is I fully and completely accept, respect, forgive, celebrate, and love myself. So those are some really, I think, in terms of like the conversation we're having right now, it's what does it mean to love yourself? I think that these are some really good words. You use the word accept.
You
Respect's
use
really,
the word forgive.
I use the word forgive. Respect, I think, is a really key one. Like, just having some self-respect.
Well, what does that mean, self-respect?
Well, that maybe means like trusting your inner wisdom. You're trusting your gut. Your gut tells you to do something, you know, but then somebody else tells you not to do it. And you go, well, obviously you respect that other person more than you respect your own inner wisdom. Or um, maybe like if you know that something is bad for you and you know it makes you feel bad and you do it anyway, then obviously there's kind of addiction things going on there too, but even but to respect yourself would be like, no, I respect myself enough to know that I'm not going to do this thing that's going to damage me.
Or I think as well too, like, um, say media or advertising is trying to sell you something that, you just know doesn't feel right for you. And you say, you know what? I'm not going to listen to that. I'm going to trust what feels right for me. And
Mm,
I think a big one of respect is the way you eat. Something for me that's a huge part of respecting that this body is, a manifestation of Mother Nature on some level, and to what we put into our mouths, I think is such a huge aspect of that respect for
mm.
ourselves.
Well, I agree, and I think you can also expand that even like your whole environment. Do you know what I mean? Like, even
Yeah.
just like keeping a tidy house, has this. There's a certain level of respect, even if you never have a guest. Like you do that for yourself. You do that so you have a nice, sattvic, clean, tidy place to live.
Mm.
Um, so that's and but then I love then that it's celebrate too is another
Yeah.
good one, right? Celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
It's like woohoo, I got no hair, yeah, but I mean, like, part of me when like when I started losing my hair, which was a long time ago, by the way, we're talking decades, and there was a point where I said, once I get more head than hair, like basically when the hairline gets behind the ears, I guess.
As you're saying that, I'm kind of measuring myself
Yeah,
right
you're getting close, bro.
now. I don't know if not everyone's watching on YouTube, but I'm kind of looking at myself on the video like, is
Yeah,
my
you
hair
got
my line behind my ears right
you got
now?
it's getting close, but I think you got a little, and again, this is, I think, respecting and celebrating yourself also means like, hey, maybe you want to just have a few dreadlocks sticking off the back of your head.
Hey,
uh,
bald is beautiful.
right. Well,
Bald,
so I
bald
said, well,
is
once I get more
beautiful.
head than hair, I'm going to shave my head, and I'm just gonna go full bald, man, and just celebrate. Hey, I'm a bald guy. You know, I think that's part of it, right? So I just love this. I've been
Bald is
I've been
beautiful.
chanting it every day, and
Bald is
and
beautiful.
yes, that and no, Monica's profound and complete. I completely and profoundly, she said. But
See,
anyway,
we're I think our world and our culture is, we talk about the sickest culture, the this culture, the in the history of the world, but I do believe that we are the most vain than any culture that's ever been on this planet. You know, we are the vanity is just it's almost like an epidemic.
Yeah. Yeah. An epidemic.
So
Uh,
just
I
how do I look? How do I look?
yeah.
Everybody's so concerned
Well,
with.
how do I look? How do I come across? How am I appearing? It's not just even physical. It's like, do
Right.
I have the right car? Do I have the right pants? Do I have the, right job? Do I have the right wife? Do I have the right husband? And not even like, I mean, the right husband is the one that you love and makes you feel good and you want to be around him all the time. That's the right husband, not the one that like your coworkers think is fitting, or that your best friend from school says is the best because he's richest or whatever it is. This is
Right.
all, yeah, vanity's a big one, and I think we all struggle with it on a little bit. But I think it also, if vanity is an indication, if we're really vain, I think it's an indication that might, on some levels, it might look egotistic, and maybe it has that because it's based in the ego. But I think if you really love yourself, if you really respect yourself and all the things that we've just been talking about, um, you're not going to be vain, because you're not going to be worried about what anybody thinks of you. So vanity might be actually like a symptom.
Yes. And this loving yourself and this celebrating yourself, it can very easily go to the other side though,
Well, heck
of
yeah.
an egoistic thing
That's right.
of just me, 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 me.
Yeah.
Like I love me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm just going to walk around loving me because this is
yeah.
the new age way to be, you know.
So we got to change it, man. I love we.
I love everyone.
I love everyone. Yeah.
Loving everyone
Yeah.
has become cool again. Making love cool again.
Making love is
Making
cool.
love
Is
is
cool
cool again.
again. Yeah, because like what's cool. Oh, are you hearing that?
No,
I was
what's
weird.
up?
I was hearing my voice in stereo for a second. Because making love isn't cool anymore. Everybody wants to have sex like they're on a porno or something.
I heard even the kids aren't having sex though. So I don't know if people even are having much sex. I'm not sure. Oh,
Well,
I'm hearing an echo now too.
are you?
Yeah. I just heard myself back.
I don't hear it now.
Now
Maybe.
I didn't. Now I don't, but I did there for a second.
Whoa,
So
whoa.
say these things that Monica said again. Repeat this beautiful
So
mantra.
she said, I profoundly and completely accept, respect, forgive, celebrate, and love myself.
Yeah. And I think, there's this tendency. I mean, I think we have, a, I've heard that people in India don't have this as much as us, but that we have this negative self-image. So many of us were almost born with this disease of negative self-image and negative self-talk and even hating ourselves. I know I've gone through that at periods
Me too.
in my life. So to transform that energy, to alchemize that energy into loving ourselves, I think is a big part of the spiritual journey, and I think yeah, there's it's just it's a very big part of this whole process of waking up.
But I think, as we're talking, just to reiterate, is that we just have to be careful as we're doing that work for it to not become selfish.
Right.
Do you know? For it to not turn into like this. You hear this. So I used to call it yoga selfish. You
Yeah.
hear these people like, right now, it's just all about me. Right now, I just need to take care of me. So what does that mean? Does that mean if there's somebody dying in the street in front of you, you're going to be like, you know what? It's all about me right now. Like at a certain point, we're all in this together. So it's
Yeah. So, and
great.
and I think the shadow side of that is that we miss out on really one of the central pillars of how a bhakta lives in the world, and that's humility. Because the moment we go into this over the top of I love myself and I don't care what anybody else says and I just love me and I'm going to do whatever I want because I love myself. That's just so puffed up. And there's the way Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught that we have to be, humble like a blade of grass,
Mhm.
right? And that's a big teaching, like lower than like a straw on the street. I think he uses that type of metaphor. And these are bhakti teachings, right? Like so, but that always love that. Don't think less of yourself, think of yourself less. So it's not about thinking of yourself as a piece of crap.
That's
That's not
it.
going to get us anywhere. But
That's
just
it.
think about others more. Radiate love.
Yeah, so that reminded me too. I think another important pillar, of course, of bhakti is karma, yoga, seva, serving. Like serving others. If we're always just serving ourselves, if it's like always like, oh, it's all about me right now. Oh, I just need to, I recognize that I have this injury in my heart, or that I don't love myself. Okay, well, so I'm going to just do everything in the world I can think of to take care of myself and to not take care of others. I think we're missing a huge opportunity, because I think honestly, like karma yoga has the potential by serving others. We actually, the karma yoga is the most beautiful of almost one of the most beautiful concepts of yoga in my mind, because you get so much out of it, and yet, but it's like an oxymoron, right? It's like you serve someone else and then you reap the benefits.
Mm,
Well, it's like a miracle.
yeah.
It's like a miracle.
I think it heals us, to be honest with you. I think
100%.
I think karma yoga, and it's like the best way out of depression is to stop thinking about yourself so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, literally.
Start serving others.
Yeah.
And it's not called selfish service, right? If all I'm doing, I just need to serve myself right now. It's
Yeah.
called selfless service.
Yeah.
But it's heals us. That's what's
Yeah.
exciting. It feels so great.
It does. There's nothing like when you really help somebody out, whether it's even just a good friend and you really hook them up, it feels great. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And you see, even when just like there's moments in our lives when, like, somebody needs to know, and even just the name of a restaurant or something, and that person who knows it just leaps up and says it, because I think our instinct, our real true instinct, is to cooperate and to help each other, and it gives us an instant dopamine hit or whatever, you know um an instant buzz.
Well, I think Krishna speaks about this on the Karma Yoga chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, that it's selfless service that is like the foundation of the world. He uses some type of phrase like that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I love that what you just said, that it actually is our like nature to want to help others and to be of service of others. Why? Because we're all one.
Yeah.
And from the deepest spiritual level,
Yeah.
there is no other. And we are just one being. We are just one organism. So, of course, we want to help each other. And of course, it feels good to help each other. But I
Yeah.
think people get afraid of helping others because they feel like they're going to like shrink away or something like
I think
this.
they also think it's going to take away from, like, that there's a lack and a limitation of sort of like the abundance of the of the universe, we think maybe that it's going to take away from us
Mm,
somehow. It would deplete us, by serving others, that will be somehow depleted. But it reminds me of like the Purnamada mantra, which is like, this is full, that is full, everything is full. If you take fullness away from fullness, you still have fullness.
mm,
And I like to, I actually oftentimes I just translate that. I throw in the word love, because I like to throw in the word love as often as I can. So you say love, this is love, that is love. Take love away from love and you still have love. you know and I think that when we kind of operate in that mentality, then we don't have that fear, like, oh, if I give all my, if I give so much love to this person, then I'm going to be depleted. Or if I radiate love too much, I got to save some for myself.
yeah,
you know
yeah.
and
It reminded me, I'm taking our brother Hanuman Das's course right now on Ramcharitmanas. He's
oh,
doing
you
this
are
beautiful
nice.
course. And I've been not able to be live with it, but every other word is love. It's great. It's listen to the love in Ram's voice and
Beautiful.
Sita's love for Ram and Lakshman's love for Ram and Ram's love for Bharat. Every other word is love. And it's like, but what I got, and he's such a beautiful, he's our dear brother and Guru Bhai that lives in London and runs the Godharmic Foundation. And he just he's got so much bhav. I
Mm.
mean, just so much oozing bhav in the way that he's presenting this Ramcharitmanas, which is Tulsidas Ramayan, and every other word. It's not love, it's love.
Love.
But every time you hear it, it takes you a little deeper and
Yeah, and
deeper
it and
and
it and it
deeper in.
is, man. That's the thing, and it is love.
Love is what transforms us.
Yeah, I heard somebody say the other day. They said love is the most important thing there is. And I kind of thought, isn't it maybe the only important thing?
Mm.
Just not to be contradictory, and I didn't like raise my hand and say, "Excuse me, I think what you meant to say was," but you know, uh, to me, when I started to kind of meditate on that, I was like, well, if it's outside of that, then it doesn't, it's not really important.
Mm.
And what's outside of that tends to fall into like the whole category of Maya and separation and illusion and, you know, untruth. So,
Yeah, there's like Amma says there's only two energies in the universe, love and fear. And like love is sort of like an umbrella word for all of these beautiful qualities. And fear is an umbrella word for all of these beautiful, not beautiful, not so beautiful qualities.
mm,
Like love, service, goodness, grace, beauty. They're all
compassion,
intertwined, right?
forgiveness. Yeah.
That's all love.
Yeah.
Hate, greed, anger, fear, self-doubt, worry. That's all the other side of
Mm.
things. So on some level, there's just a two. And whether you call it fear or, we've used the word demonic in here a lot, which we've talked about. Maybe some people don't agree with this word, but yeah.
I
Hey,
like
I'm
it.
thinking
And
maybe we
we
went on a pretty big riff right
we
there.
did, we
Maybe we
did, we
should
did.
get
Well, I
moving
like I
here.
told you, I'm still high from last week, man.
That's where this all started.
That's right.
That's where this all
I'm
started.
telling you, I mean, I wasn't done. I wasn't done with that one, man. I've been meditating on it all week, and I just love it so much.
So that's what's alive in your sadhana right now. That's what's
Just
like the center point.
just trying to radiate love, man. Whatever
Right.
that means. What does that mean? I don't know what that means, but just I'm just playing with it.
Yeah.
Just playing with it. But yeah, you're right. We should jump in. We need to get into a Hanuman Chalisa line, and we haven't even got close to taking the hit of the day.
Oh, let's go.
Let's
Let's
go. All right. So
go.
why don't you lead us in some opening prayers, my brother?
Hey. All
Hey.
right. Okay, everyone. So we're gonna just chant a few lines from Guru Stotram. to enter into our reflections on the Hanuman Chalisa. Om Akanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Salutations to the Guru who revealed to me the supreme truth, which is unfragmented, infinite, timeless divinity, and which pervades the entire universe.
Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Salutations to the Guru who opened my eyes, which had been blinded by the darkness of ignorance, by applying the divine ointment of self knowledge.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Guru is the creator, sustainer, and the destroyer. Guru is directly the supreme spirit, both manifest reality and the absolute. My reverential salutations to the glorious Guru who resides in the hearts of all beings as the true self.
Hari Om Bolo Shri Sadgurudev Bhagwan Ki.
Jai.
Neem Karoli Santa Maharaj Ki.
Jai.
Jai Hanuman, Jai Gurudev, Jai Baba.
Oh, Baba. What would we do without Baba?
Ah, Baba.
All right, let's look at another chopai in the Hanuman Chalisa. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, what we like to do is spend a few minutes every episode just reflecting on one of the lines, one of the verses from the Hanuman Chalisa, which is a great poem and prayer dedicated to Hanumanji, written by Tulsidas. So today we're looking at Chopai number 27. That seems auspicious. We got a quarter mala going on here. It translates as Ram, the renunciate. And actually, I think we should add here Ram, the renunciate king. What do you think? I always feel like that. I always feel like I want
Well, the word Raja
is there. Yeah. I mean, it's implied in the reigns over, but
yeah.
anyway, Ram, the renunciate king, reigns over all. You carry out all of his work. And the Avadi, the original language, goes like this: Sabha para Rama tapasvi raja, Tina ke kaja sakala tuma saja. So this is a beautiful line. Ram, the renunciate king, reigns over all. You, Hanumanji, carry out all his work. So what do you think about this line? You want to open it up? Give us some reflections on this.
Yes, well, we've had a bunch of promises the last few episodes, but I think 3 lines in a row we've had promises. And here Tulsidas takes a slightly different turn. And as we sort of excavate looking for deeper meaning in this particular line, first of all, Ram, the renunciate, this word renunciate, tapasvi or tapas. Ram is one who has renounced attachment to worldly possessions and things. And Ram is the embodiment of Dharma. Typically, you think of a king, and what the king wants is power and money and fame. And this is telling us Ram, the renunciate king. So Ram has renounced attachment to all of these, the external show. And Ram's focus is to renounce external worldly things so that you can become more in union with capital S self. So you can be more in union with truth. And this is what Ram is, the embodiment of truth and love and compassion and mercy. So untainted and absolutely pure embodiment of these qualities. So his attachment to worldly things doesn't get in the way of that. So he's renounced attachment to these worldly types of things. So he can just be so pure in his embodiment of love and truth and compassion and mercy. Now, that's one level of looking at it. But another level of looking at it is that Ram is pure consciousness. And that's our inner king. That's the inner Ram, is inner spirit, is the soul, is pure, unconditional, loving awareness. And that is the king of our being. But then it says, you carry out all his work. So Hanuman is in like this world, this three-dimensional world, through action. We talked about this a lot. I think at the end of last episode, I just spoke about how Hanuman is action.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's in meditation, but then he's always putting into action his the impulses that he gets as to how he can serve. So it's like Ram is the inner king, but then Hanuman is like our bodies, and of course our minds are needed as well too. But everything in this three-dimensional world that can follow the guidance of the king and who is the servant of the king. So let's let our minds and our intellect and our emotions and our body work in this world. You carry out all his work. Work in this world to serve the inner king, who is Ram, which is the inner spirit. Different ways of looking at what this line may have some meaning. How about yourself? Any thoughts?
Wow. Well, this is really great. I love this inner king, this pure consciousness concept, is really wonderful. And that inner king is also, it's like, it's like Shiva is so unattached, right? That's the tapassvan part, that pure consciousness really is so unattached um, to all that material stuff, you know, and kind of what we were just talking about, and um, speaking of Ramcharitmanas and Hanuman Das, and that everything is just love, is that he Tulsidas says Ram loves only love. And so like, it reminds me, in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Krishna says, don't be attached to anything. Oh, but wait a minute, but be attached to me. Be attached to the divine, be attached to prema, divine love. Is that like, that's the only thing that Ram really maybe is attached to, is love. Love's only love. And but otherwise, completely, to me, that it is a segue from the promises, but at the same time, we just said, the last episode ended up being called "What Would Hanuman Do?" And we talked about remembering Hanuman in thought, word, and deed. So like really just trying to live like Hanuman, and then we come straight to this, which is the beautiful way that you just described it, which is like that we're here to serve that inner Ram. We're here to serve that inner, that higher consciousness that's within us, that we are, our bodies, our thoughts, our words, our deeds all want to be in alignment with that service. And so honestly, to me, like I'm seeing an even more, I've always felt like this line kind of just jumped out a little bit, but now actually I'm seeing, once again, the elegance of Tulsi Das's
Mm.
poetry to weave that in, and seeing this now on a deeper level. So thank you so much. It's you know I love what you said. What I've always loved about Ram, one of the things that's really attracted me to Ram Bhakti is his adherence to truthfulness, as you just mentioned. That Ram literally like can't tell a lie. Like it's just not in his DNA or something. And you know, I've shared this story. I'm not sure if I've shared it here before, but you've probably heard it, Govindas. Is that I grew up, breaking lots of rules as a kid. I was, smoking pot and doing all those things that were against the rules. And so I learned how to lie really good to my parents. And then I went into acting school, and acting school is all about learning to lie. And then I was in the theater and movies for years, and you're just making shit up. And that's what, I'm not saying it's bad. I like a good movie or TV show myself, but what you're doing as the artist is you're making stuff up, and I got really good at lying, and I really, it was almost instinctual, like even when I didn't need to lie. And then when I started getting into spirituality, and then I met Melissa, and I realized how much honesty I'd had in my past relationships. I was like, you know what? I don't want to have another dishonest relationship. So I told Melissa everything I could possibly, all my secrets, aired all my dirty laundry, And honestly, at some levels, I figured I was just going to scare her away and I wouldn't have to deal with a relationship, But no, it's the opposite. We got closer, and then I found myself in this situation where I literally couldn't lie to her about anything. I couldn't, even a little white lie. I would make a little white lie about something, and then I'd come running back into the room 5 minutes later and say, "Oh, I gotta tell you the truth. That's not what it is. I had a banana, not an apple, or something just completely mundane." And then I discovered Hanuman, and I discovered Kirtan, and I discovered Ramayana. And I was like, wow, this, this, this Ram, he really cares about the truth. So suddenly my sort of obsession with telling the truth, like, started to like make sense on a deeper level, and uh I also, make the joke that I spent the first, 30 years of my life learning how to lie, and now I've spent the last, 27 years of my life, oh, don't add those up, everybody,
Mm.
last 27 years of my life trying to learn how to tell the truth. And and then finally it really all gelled for me when I came to, I was in Neem Karoli Baba's ashram in Vrindavan, and there was a big sign. It says tapasya, excuse me, truth is the greatest tapasya. Truth is the greatest tapasya. And it is. Try telling the truth, everybody. Just try for a few days. Try telling the truth. That great moment Ram Dass was told by Neem Karoli Baba, love everyone and tell the truth. And he said, well, the truth is I don't love everyone. And then Baba said, love everyone and tell the truth. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but what I guess I'm feeling like is love everyone and tell the truth. I
Mm.
lost my train of thought. Anyway, Save
Well,
me,
I think
brother. Save me.
yeah, no, I think I think it's really admirable that you can live like that. And it's I mean, we've always heard this. This I think everyone in this country has, I don't know if it's spoken about in other languages as well too, but the truth will set you free.
Hmm.
We've all heard this. And that you've made a conscious choice to really live like that. That's very admirable of you, and I think it's something that we can all really aspire to. What I'm getting at as well too is total truth is necessary, is what Maharaji said, right? Total truth is necessary. But then the other side of the coin, when I have heard our dear sister Sadhvi Bhagavati, she says that but in truth, speaking truth, you don't want to violate ahimsa,
Hmm.
which is non-harming. So I play with this and like it's a tricky one, man. It's like
Heck yeah.
you come home from the market and you saw a beautiful woman and something stirred up in you. Does that mean you need to go home and run home and tell your wife this? Well, I don't know. I don't think that's like the best approach for a long-term marriage. You know what I mean?
No,
So
I don't think it is. But
total
like,
truth is
but
necessary,
but here's the thing. Like, here's what it would be like. Let's say you were having a heart-to-heart conversation with your wife, and she said, "Do you ever feel attracted to other people?"
I say no, absolutely.
Correct answer. You passed the test. I was
Yeah.
testing you. I thought maybe I got to get you to slip up.
It's just very tricky, but I
Okay.
get it. I
Heck
get
yeah.
it. But
Heck yeah.
it's
No,
tricky.
it doesn't mean walking around with a sign on your forehead that is like telling everybody, hey,
Those
you need
pants
to
are
eat better.
awful.
Hey, you need to pull your pants up. Hey, I mean,
You know
that's not.
what? That color looks terrible on you. Hey,
Well, here's the thing, though.
maybe we should try it out for a day, see what happens.
Yeah,
You would be free, but you wouldn't have a lot of friends.
super free. You'll be free on Saturday night too.
Yes, you.
I stop getting invited to dinner parties.
Yes, no more social life, but you're free. You're free.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that that Ram was just walking down the street, just hate that color on you, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, you're putting on a few pounds. You might want to cut back
oh,
on
oh
dessert.
boy, that one would really get you in trouble. Hey, you're not looking so good. Oh my gosh. Well,
Well,
so
but I
but
love but just to get back, I think the biggest one I got today from this is this great feeling of Ram being that consciousness, and that our bodies and our form, our Shakti is like here to serve that, is to serve that. Hanuman is here to serve Ram, and we are aspiring to live like Hanuman. And so if we're going to aspire to live like Hanuman, what does that mean? Then that means we're here to serve Ram. And so whether you want to see that as that inner king of that's pure consciousness, or whether you want to just see that as like dharma, or whether you want to see that as love, or I think any of those that could work for you. Even you can think of it as Ram and Sita, the deities, because we know their mission was to overcome darkness and overcome the, you know, the adharma in the world. And so um, we're just here to serve love. That's really what I'm getting from this line.
And I just got a hit. I shouldn't say that because we're about to take a hit in just a minute here, but
Double
something really,
dose.
really revealed something revealed to me for years. I've been, Maharaji told Ram Dass, love everyone and tell the truth. And Ram Dass says, well, the truth is that I don't love everyone. And he said back to him, love everyone and tell the truth. And I've always struggled with like, well, what does that mean? Well, if you're walking down the street, it means love everyone and tell the truth. Like if you're walking down the street, hey, that hat looks terrible on you. Hey, put on a few pounds. Hey, whatever. Like that's not really loving everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's your ego
Mm-hmm.
spouting out judgments and
Right.
opinions. That's not
Yeah.
loving
And it's
everyone.
not even necessarily the truth.
That's not the
That's like,
truth.
that's your truth.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the lower T truth.
Yeah. Because
It's an
that hat looks
objective,
terrible on you.
subjective truth. That's a subjective truth.
Somebody else might think that hat looks great.
So love everyone first.
Mm.
Love everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And loving everyone is being in your heart, is head to heart. And heart is, serving and accepting. And so, and tell the truth.
So you say, like, the truth is, I love you in that stupid hat.
There it is. That's it.
I love it when I love that I get a little extra 10 pounds around the midsection to squeeze into when I hug you.
I love you. And you have a little extra 10 pounds to squeeze. But something just opened right there.
No, that's good.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's like
so it's not just spout out the truth at everyone and everything, but love everyone.
Yeah.
And from that place of love, you will be very discerning on how you speak the truth.
We make everything so black and white. So tell the truth. That does not mean walking down. That doesn't mean, I don't think he ever meant that means to walk down the street and to spout out your opinions.
Right.
That said, when somebody is genuinely inquiring about your opinion, this is when we should choose to share our genuine opinion. We might say like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to hear my genuine opinion? Because you might not like it. And that would be the love everyone part. Like, I'm going to give you a little warning. But if they say, no, I really want to know your honest opinion, then, you give them your honest opinion in the most loving way you can.
In the most loving way you can.
In the most loving way you can, but it definitely means don't lie to cover your tracks. It definitely means that.
Yes.
We can rule that out, right? Like
yes.
if it's just a lie to make yourself look better or to cover your tracks for something that you did that was wrong, then that clearly breaking the truth.
And I've heard this satya or translated as non-lying as well too, which is, hey, if we just stop lying, and stop lying to ourselves, this is a big one. But if we can just start to curb that, this is a great practice. And it sounds like that's really what you have done. So that's really, you have really elevated yourself.
Yeah. I mean, the other day though, they rang up avocado as non-organic and it was really an organic avocado. And I didn't say anything. And I saved the 50 cents. So
well, we're all just practicing. It's all work in progress.
No, but I mean, it was, and it was specifically was with
You're
Melissa, just
confessing
because,
here on the Love Ever. This should be
yeah. All
confession
right. I do
hour.
have,
We
okay.
should
I
have
have another,
confession hour every
I have
session.
another confession to make. I snuck in, watched 10 minutes of a movie at the movie theater the other day after my movie was finished. Let's see what else.
Wow. You're cleaning up your game, brother.
Well, I mean, just we do what we can, but I think truth is really important. And I think that, and Ram, it was like top of the list for Ram, and that's got to mean something. And then for Neem Karoli Baba to be on it in the way that he was, it's got to mean something. I can't. It's got to be something important.
I got this, man. I got to say this. I want to make sure we save some time for our hit because I
Oh
know we're
yeah, we
excited.
definitely want to. Let's
But
get it.
this last thing that just came out or came up for me is what we were talking about earlier in our vanity and how we're being reminded of Ram as the renunciate king. He's renounced all that stuff of how he appears to completely reside in truth.
Uh,
And hey, I think all of us that follow this path, Ram is one of our ideals that we seek to model our lives after. So, you know, okay, less vanity and more, which is essentially renunciation, less vanity. Why do the renunciates or the sadhus or the sannyasins, why do they just all only wear the same clothes every single day? To take away that
hmm.
all of the personality stuff that comes with clothes, right?
Well, they don't even shave or cut their hair or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just total vanity.
Mhm.
I mean, totally letting go of that.
Yeah.
So, in with the intention of deepening in their practice of self-realization. That, so I think this is a great practice for us, and this hidden little jewel in here is practice in our own way, being a renunciate. Even though we may not be, ordained into a lineage of being a swami or anything like that, we can practice just renouncing attachment to
Well,
the
I love that too,
external.
because I think just to follow up on that briefly is that most of us aren't in that position to just like go give everything up and go live on the banks of Ganga, right? And that's maybe not even actually what our soul was sent here to do or came here to do. Um, and I think we again we have this real disease of wanting to turn everything into black and white. It's like, okay, I can't go live on the banks of Ganga and become a full renunciate, therefore I'm not going to be a renunciate at all. And when I think about Bhagavad Gita, just to bring us back to that again, like he's teaching us how to live in the world and be of action, and also to renounce. And he talks about renouncing the attachment to the fruits of our labor, so we can easily, or not easily, it's not easy, but we're all capable of at least attempting to practice being a renunciate in so much of our lives, even if it's not like that we're not renouncing our car, or we're not renouncing our job, or renouncing our family or whatever, but that we can renounce our attachments. We can renounce our vanity. We can renounce our dishonesty. We can renounce our self-loathing. We can renounce, there's all these things that we have the opportunity, so we can be renunciates, but maybe just in a way of that a householder can be a renunciate. But
Great, great.
should we take a hit?
I think we should. Why don't you tell everybody what do you mean take a hit? Maybe somebody this is their
What do you
first.
Well,
their
we're going.
first time being on the Love Everyone podcast.
Okay.
They're
Oh,
hearing a hit
okay.
of LSD, and they're like,
Yeah,
what are
Govindas and
these
I are
guys going to
both.
do?
We're gonna take a hit of LSD.
Well, what do you mean? Are we a bunch of druggies?
What? No, this is the OG LSD. You don't know what the what is the
Ah,
what's
the
the OG LSD?
OG. Ah, the OG. You mean love, service, and devotion.
That's
That's what you're
right.
talking.
That's what I mean. The
That's what you're
OG
talking about,
LSD.
huh?
You cannot OD. And in fact, you should take as much as possible because
Uh,
it's good for you. It's actually good for you.
Wait, you're telling me LSD is good for you? What do you
It-
mean?
oh my God, love, service, and devotion take you all the way, bro. And guess what? If you practice it, you take these hits on a daily basis, you don't have to come down.
That sounds like my kind of LSD, man.
Me too. Me too. So let's do it. I think you brought the L you brought it today, right?
Okay, and guess what? We're applying a new strategy here in our Love Everyone podcast that we are not telling each other the strain, which means Ramachandra Das does not know the quote that I'm about to share right now. And he's just going to hear it once or maybe twice and see what arises from him. So he can just really let this quote come on. And this is from Radhanath Swami. And Radhanath Swami is an amazing monk in the ISKCON tradition. And we just had the Shiva Bal Memorial and Life Celebration this past weekend, and Radhanath Swami was in town, and he was a friend of Shiva really through Bhakti Fest, and Radhanath Swami showed up at the at the memorial, and he gave the most beautiful talk. I mean, everybody in the place was just in tears. And so that inspired me as I saw a recent quote of Radhanath Swami's that I really loved to make this our hit for today. And everybody, if you haven't read The Journey Home by Radhanath Swami, it's one of the best spiritual books out there. It's his basically autobiography of him coming from America to India and finding the path of bhakti. So if you ever get a chance, The Journey Home from Radhanath Swami. But here we go. Here's our hit. Why do we feel like we need to control everything in life? We think this is our life, our body, our family, our success. But the truth is, we didn't create any of it. Our body, our abilities, our relationships, everything is entrusted to us. We are not owners. We are caretakers.
Mm.
You want me to read it again, or you feel like you got it?
Oh yeah, go one more time.
Okay. Why do we feel like we need to control everything in life? We think this is our life, our body, our family, our success. But the truth is, we didn't create any of it. Our body, abilities, our relationships, everything is entrusted to us. We are not owners, we are caretakers.
Wow, that
Is
is
it
a good
coming
one.
on? Is it coming
Oh
on?
my God, it's coming on hard. It's coming on hard.
You feeling a little lift?
Yeah, I let me just see if I can put words to this. Oh, so years ago when I mean at least over a decade ago, I did a I did a very intense sadhana, a months long sadhana using a Lakshmi mantra. And, at the time, I probably started it because I probably felt like I didn't have enough money or something like that. And I either wanted to like figure out a way to get more money, or I wanted to figure out a way to like at least stop living in that kind of lack and limitation feeling. And I don't know exactly how much my, I did japa meditation, with a Lakshmi mantra. And honestly, the thing I really got out of it, more than maybe what I thought I was going to get out of it, I didn't get rich, that's for sure, but financially. But what I really got out of it was this basic thought, was that all of this whole experience that I'm having, body, everything, is all just on loan from Lakshmi Devi, from the mother. And I got just like a library book, man, at the end of this incarnation, I got to return it. And that quote that you just read just reminds me so much of that, just that feeling that I try to carry with me as much as I can, is that this is like something that, yeah, so that word caretaker is a really beautiful word, that I've used to describe this experience that I had, or that that I have, and this, um, and it reminded me too, is I almost talked about this when we were talking about Ram, the renunciate king, is there's that beautiful poem that when it says Ram is the doer, Ram is the doer, and um, like why do we why, but that question I still what I want to get to is this question that he opens it up with, why do we think, why are we so desperate for control, you know and um there's just something so contrasting between the ego's desire to cling on and control things, and the soul's awareness that it can't, or that that's not even important. So I think why we do it, maybe we can even go back to this ama thing, is the fear. you know we do it because we're afraid, um that if we don't control the situation, then it won't turn out the way we want it to turn out. Maybe that we just don't have faith in the divine plan, you know so why do we want to control? It makes us feel powerful. It makes us feel, secure, maybe. I mean, I think these are all illusions, because I don't think, because we know, we've talked about it 1,000 times between the two of us. We know that we're not really in control anyway. And so yeah, why? But what do you think? Why do we want to control so badly?
Well, I mean, I think this comes down to, so essentially about 30 some years ago, and sometime around 1996, I was in a yoga class he was a sort of a big teacher at that point. His name was Gary Craftso, and I believe he's still
Mm,
kind of teaching.
yeah.
But he was, coming to LA quite a bit. He was sort of this famous traveling teacher, so I decided to take a class, and the style of yoga, it didn't really agree with me so much, but he said something that has stuck with me. He said, yoga is very simple. It's just a re-identification process
Mm,
from the small egoic self to the infinite boundless self. And to me, that's what this is. In the small egoic self, we want to control everything. It's the same teaching as Krishna that when we live in the I, me, and mine, we're in a prison.
Mm.
The I, me, and mine is a self-created prison. When we shift from the small self to the big self, capital S self, infinite self, we then realize that all is God's property. That and in that realization that all is God's property, I can let go and let God and let Ram be the doer, right? So on some level, and I know you love to share Vanamali's quote all the time, it's just about the root of all of our problems. It's just misidentification, all of our pain, all of our struggling. And I think a symptom of that is that we want to try to control everything because there's a misidentification, there's a distortion in our minds that we're not in alignment with our Ram is the king.
Mm.
And we want to try to control it instead of let Ram be the king. Instead of being Hanuman and serving the king, the ego takes the reins and wants to control the whole show.
Well,
But
that's Ravana, isn't it?
and that's Ravana.
Yeah.
So we have the choice. Do we want to be Ravana? Or do we want to be Ram and Hanuman?
Uh,
So that's what I get from it. But it's such a great reminder, that none of this is our property.
yeah.
But we say it, my body. How
Yeah.
great is this to think that this body is not my body? It's God's body. That this money in the bank, it's not my money. It's Lakshmi's money.
Yeah.
And how that can change the scope of how we live our life. And to me, even talking about it, I feel so light.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
not in
even
prison, right?
Yeah, just even when I think about like when people say private property or this is my land, whatever, it's like, oh wow, it just feels
Well,
so.
that's so selfish.
Yeah,
If it's God's land, you just say, everybody, welcome. Let's have a party. Let's do some kirtan on this land, right?
yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah. This is my land, it's my private property. This is, or I don't even want people to have health care because it's my taxes. And it's like it's the ownership, that we have over our bodies and over our stuff and over our countries and our invisible lines of lot sizes and everything. It's just such an interesting dilemma.
It is. And it's, the world is a world of duality, and it always has been. And I think it always will be. And when we say hot, cold, happy, sad, on and on the dualities, and this is just the nature of the world, and that's just how people live in this world.
And that we just know that our yoga practice is all just giving us an opportunity to try to balance it, right?
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this at length and maybe even last week, but just we can't ignore the material world, but we also need to spend as much time and energy into experiencing the spiritual world as well. And that just like all the yogas in the Bhagavad Gita play off of each other, so does that. Our material world gives us opportunities to expand our spiritual realm, and the more we expand our spiritual realm, the more we are able to walk with ease and grace through the material world. So
Yeah, I think it's something Krishna Das talks about. Can we live in the world in a good way?
yeah,
I think that's it. It's
I
like,
love it when he just breaks it down in such a simple
can
way,
we just live in this world in a good way?
yeah. Can't we just chant and be good people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can. We can, and we are.
We
Yes.
are. We're making the attempt.
Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram.
Well, I think that feels good, brother.
Yeah.
And what a blessing we can just come
Amazing.
together and do this,
I feel so happy about the progress we made on line 27. I mean, no, I mean, like you and I have talked about this line together
Yeah.
now, like 30 times or more, over the last several years with the Chalisa gathering with our satsang in the morning. We've both expounded upon this line, a dozen or more times in reflections, and it kind of seemed to break through to a new ground today. So
Yeah.
bottomless well.
Bottomless well. Endless. Never
endless
stops.
endless well of dharma and teachings and wisdom,
The
an
gift that keeps
ocean
on giving, right?
an ocean of
Mm,
wisdom.
mm. Well,
Okay.
thanks so much, brother.
Yeah,
It's,
you
it's
got it,
an
man.
honor
Thank
and a
you.
joy just to be able to be together and do this. And thank you, everybody, for those of y'all that are tuning in and listening to these episodes. We're so grateful that we can share this and share it with a friend. If you think somebody, you know, copy and paste it or however you share it on Spotify and send them a link and say, hey, I think y'all might like this.
That'd be great. Yeah, everybody
Because we
share
want to
it.
make loving everyone cool again.
Yeah, and making love cool
Cool
again.
again. I don't know if that ever went out of style, man.
Well, I don't know. What I'm saying is, but I'm talking like anyway.
Let's get it trending again. Let's get it trending.
Make love trend again.
And soon everybody's going to be listening to this. That's how we started this
That's
journey.
right. Everybody.
Everybody's going to be listening to
Yeah.
this real soon.
Well, but here's the thing, man. If love is the only important thing, we all should be listening to this. Now, maybe not this, but this message.
Yeah.
This message of love, and the more like sort of the firm I can get in my own personal conviction that love is really the only important thing, the more, just the easier it gets to radiate love, the easier it gets to talk about love, the easier it gets to share that, like we should all be talking about love all the time.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. All right. Well,
Ready?
let's close out.
All right, let's finish up. It's just let's take just a brief moment to finish with some closing prayers. Just a beautiful prayer where we invoke peace and well-being and happiness for everybody in the world. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.
May all beings, including ourselves, be happy, be well, and be free from suffering. May all of our thoughts, may all of our words, and may all of our actions in some way contribute to that happiness, that well-being, and that freedom from suffering for all, including ourselves, including ourselves, including ourselves.
Love everyone, serve everyone, feed everyone, and remember God.
Bolo Shri Gurudev Bhagwan ki.
Jai.
Baba Neem Karoli Santa Maharaj ki.
Jai.
Jai Siya Ram, Jai Hanuman ki.
Jai.
Thank you so much, everybody. Love it. Love everyone. Episode 30 is a wrap.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and thanks so much. Hey, thanks so much, brother Das, for
love you, brother.
just sharing
so
your
much.
heart. being here with me, every time. I love it so much.
I do too, man. Let's just keep it going. And everybody, we love you, and just practice loving everyone. That's radiate love.
Radiate love. Radiate love. All right, dear friends. We'll see you on the next one. Jai Sitaram.
Jai Hanuman.